Hello, good morning, class. How are you today? I hope all is well, no? So despite the challenges or facing right now, still alive and resilient as people, as Filipino, we are resilient. So I'm Adrian Matanosa, your facilitator in this topic. But before I start, I'll show you a short clip video about on how you realize what is your realization about this video.
Apple. B. Ball. C. Ball. 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 Nan. 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 R. L. D. L. S. T. R. I. R. L. C. O. R. R. P. O. R. A. C. I. O. A.
After watching the video, what is your realization, class, about the video? Or what you have observed about the video? Or your realization about this short video clip? Yes, no. So reading materials can be found anywhere and everywhere. As we can see the video, so the child reading the manual of microwave, then the other child was read of the calendar. So reading materials can be found anywhere and everywhere, like as children do. So children typically have access to books as their primary reading materials in the classroom, which give them wide access to different reading levels, stories, and genres. There are many types of reading materials that children can use to practice their developing reading skills. However, finding more options of different reading materials can help support reluctant or struggling readers. Now let's talk about materials and resources in teaching reading. But before we start class, here is our learning objectives. Students will be able to know what are materials and resources in teaching reading. Students differentiate ebook and ebooks. And also, students will be able to understand the purpose of materials and resources in teaching reading. So, what is teaching resources and materials? So, is a material that is designed to help facilitate learning and knowledge acquisition. So, learning to read is a complex process involving identifying letters, shapes, and sounds, putting meaning to words, reading fluently, and comprehension. So, learners need to have an abundance of reading materials available to them. Different stories and types of materials like books, toys, comics, poster, and etc. However, appropriate for their level of reading in order to become fluent readers who understand what they read. Now, what is the importance of resources and reading materials? So first, it is an equipment to help students in reading. Second, it is one language skills that have to learned. Third, and mastered by students in learning English. So it means that materials and resources is such kind of things that is needed for a subject to be mastered or information and figures in teaching reading. Reading materials is important because it influence of the learners and interest. So what are the most essential factors in choosing reading materials? So consider who the student's personality traits and personal preferences when choosing a book, and make a selection with the students in mind. Choose an informal book or novel in area of specific interest. In order to select reading materials with appropriate contents, it is necessary to take the student's interest and needs into account in development on how does the content connect to students' developmental stage. And also, teachers should understand the learner's reading ability. So, there are different types of reading materials. What are the different types of reading materials? So, like magazines. There are lots of great magazines for kids, both at the newsstand and available for digital downloads. Comic books, a great way to teach learners about the back and forth of dialogue. Poetry, rhyming is an important skill for reading. Play scripts. Explore what it might be like to be on screen or stage by reading a few scripts together. You can even put on a play after reading them. Yes, so children's magazines are wonderful supplement to classroom instructions. Students are exposed to wide variety of text and lots of interactive content, from stories, poem and action, rhymes to non-fictions, craft, puzzles, and games. Kids magazines can offer an abundance of high-interest content to support your curriculum. Comic books improve the imagination of children. They begin to visualize the movement of characters as they go through the story. This helps in the development of various skills that are required for learning. So, poetry. Reading poetry helps students about voice, pitch, volume, and inflection. It also teaches young readers about speech patterns, which can give them cues to the words on a page. So, please scripts. And there is a lot of materials in teaching reading, and it's depend the teacher. They will do like instructional materials. It is true, Nona, that teacher is the best instructional materials because teacher is the one who manages the classroom. So what is the difference between the printed book and the ebook? So a printed book is materials form which contains text, images, graphs, etc. printed or typed on a paper, while the ebook is text presented in a format which allows it to be read on a computer or handheld device. Ebooks can consist simply of the electronic text or may also contains extras such as audio, video, or hyperlinks. So, in face-to-face class, we have a books or printed materials, but in this online class, mostly teacher use on ebook, no? So, ebook are more flexible than paper books. It requires one device to carry a library of various books, genres for every mood. So, but for most students, print is the most effective way to learn and retain that knowledge long term, because if they associate screen time with casual web or surfing, they may rush through without fully absorbing the text. So in our materials and resources in teaching reading, illustrations in a picture book help children understand what they are reading, allowing new readers to analyze the story. If children are having difficulty with the words, the illustration can help them figure out the narrative, which can increase their comprehension. In distance learning, we can teach these skills during synchronous learning as preparation for reading that occurs during asynchronous learning. Or we can use our learning management system to create gateway activities so that students complete pre-reading activities before the reading text is released. Okay, that ends of my discussion. Any questions, class, or clarifications? You can send me my FB Messenger, or you directly chat on me any clarifications or questions. So that's end, and that would be all. See you next meeting, and do study because we're having a quiz during our asynchronous class, okay? So bye, class. Keep safe always, and God bless.